First of all, is acceptance. You need to accept the fact that you're there, know where you're going. That helps you to gain clarity. It helps you to realize I'm having this kind of struggle and now I can do something about it. I have a purpose, I have a mission, I have stuff to do, and I want to focus on that.
What is going on, Reboot crew? It is your Reboot Hero 2, and I am here with somebody that has had a very interesting journey as far as getting into the Reboot implementation program, and he recently graduated. I am very, very excited for you guys to get to know him better and to have you guys hear his story about his progress in really a short amount of time. Really, really excited to have this guy on. I am here with Filip. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, hello Chris, and hello everybody who's watching. I'm really excited to get on this call with you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And this guy has a really, really interesting story as far as how he got into the group goes. So, you know what? Let's start there as far as how you discovered the Reboot program at the very beginning.
I was struggling with the out of control behavior since my early childhood, actually. So I started noticing the problem when I first got in the serious relationship in my mid 20s. I'm 33 now, so as you can see, the from awareness point where I started to seeing like this is a problem to where I founded the program. It took me a while, but I stumbled upon it because I was searching online for some solution to my problem, to this behavior. And I stumbled upon the YouTube channel of JK's of Porn Reboot. Started watching those videos. I slowly realized that there is a free group. I joined it, started being active there after a while of being there. So I suddenly decided that I want to really get a grip on this and get in control of my life. So I decided to become more active on the group. I found out my first AP on that free group, which Gaspar helped me to find. And I really want to say, I got really taken care of, even though it was a free group and I didn't pay a dime. I still got a lot of support. Like I got free materials. You just need to be active and take advantage of what the guys at Elevated Recovery are giving you, because they are giving a ton of value. Like I got access to AP. I got free advice from the coaches. I also got a lot of exercises and a lot of tools that I could use instantly. So with that resources and my first AP, I started my journey. Then I got a second AP because I thought like, hey, I want to get even more into this, and I started seeing real like letting go of all the shame and guilt when I started sharing what's going on, what situations are triggering me. We started talking to each other, and I thought to myself like, I want to go further, so I found a second LP, and then I got a third. I actually was having 3 calls during a week with APs, and it took like 8 months to get into a situation when I was feeling stable. I wasn't relapsing so much. I was more aware of my risky situations. I really had some progress on my Reboot social capital when I started like becoming closer to my friends, started dating, and I was feeling more comfortable. But I still lacked like structure, like the whole system. I still was missing something. So when I saw the opportunity of the scholarship, like there was an open contest for being active in the group to gain an implementation program. Like I said to myself, this is my chance. Like I really wanted the program, but I couldn't afford it at the moment. My job situation was not clear, quite complicated. But I started my company at the beginning of the fall, and I started the program because I got the scholarship, because I started being active. Like I started shooting a little videos of mine, sharing on the topics I felt like I was doing progress, and asking people like, hey, how are you approaching this kind of topic? How are you managing your boundaries? Or how are you dealing with getting data from relapses? And that all got to here, man, to implementation.
And I want to pause you right there because for anybody who's listening or watching, Philip is being very modest. Our free group has over 3,000 people in it. Okay. And this scholarship that he's talking about that was offered by JK was only given to 2 people out of the 3,000 or so. And the quality of this guy's shares, you know, I mean, granted, you work in the film industry, so your camera quality is just crisp, your lighting is just like, and the not just the visual quality, but the quality in which your level of care, not just about your own journey, but like making the journey of others. You're trying to give value, honestly, like you're trying to provide an atmosphere where conversations are happening, you know, and people are holding themselves accountable through interacting with you. And that's really why you stood out, not just in the free group, but you took that energy and series of intentions into the implementation program. So I want to give you your flowers because like you're
Thank
awesome,
you.
honestly. So talk about that transition, kind of crossing that bridge, if you will. Like you joined the implementation program. What was your experience overall in that group?
Okay, before I get to that, I'll only hop to what you just said about sharing in the group,
Ah,
about like giving each other value, because I think this is where the strength of the Porn Reboot group lies. Like you sharing your story and inspiring others, and also gaining inspiration from other people's stories. Because when I started working with APs, I was learning from their own journey. I was getting some nuggets of information, and when I got the implementation group, that took on a whole other level, I must say. The beginnings, like you need to really make some room and some commitment at the beginning to get into it, because I know for many guys it can get overwhelming with how much of information there is. But like if you can portion it for to small simple steps and just dissect it, you get a blueprint like what to do exactly. Like you get a point by point, you get also the support of your reboot hero that you can always reach out to, and he's going to reach out to you too and check up on you. I must say I felt like I've been taken care of. So that was nice to feel. Although my entry into a program was really inspiring and I got a lot of motivation, it wasn't easy because I started actually just before me joining the implementation program, I got into depression. So I was struggling with a huge mood swings. Yet, like getting the program that really motivated me, and for the next 3 weeks, I was really like, I need to take this chance and make the best out of it, you know? And anybody who is wishing to get a program, like I really advise you to make it your top priority. Because if you won't like show up on the calls, if you won't use what you're given, and there's a ton of things you can learn, like you won't make the best out of it. And I must say, like coaching calls, the group video sessions, they are amazing. Like this is one of the biggest values out of for me, because I learned so much from those specialists, and also from the brothers who were sharing their own problems, who were like discussing and not only inspiring, but giving you like real life application of what they've learned over the course of program. So not only you have your own journey, but you are also learning from the other people's journey, which is like really a blessing. Like shout out to John, who was a really great inspiration here. Like
that's great, man. And first of all, thank you for sharing all of that. And especially when you're going through a tough season, we know that community is medicine, you know, and having that quality of men around you that are all in their own life trying to improve their situations, whether it has to do with a compulsive behavior or, you know, going through a tough season themselves in other ways. And through the tools and through the coaching calls, again, everybody pulls something away that's practical and relevant to their situation that they can pretty much apply right then and there. So let's talk about that. Let's dive into it. So as far as some of those tools that you've learned along the way, what have some of them been?
you know, as program says, it's implementation. So I really wanted to, because this is what I lack the most, the tools and the structure with my reboot. So I started really with defining the reboot. I think it's a really important step at the beginning, so you know where you're going. And as you mentioned many times, it's not just a porn group. Like it's much more than that. So like having clear vision and refining that vision along the way is one of the really important tools for me. Like know where you're going, and that helps you to gain clarity, purpose, and like not only you are getting away from porn, but getting into your future, the one you want.
Yep.
So that's one of the tools. Like with dealing with urges and situations, like the awareness about your emotions, because this is my definition of reboot. Like I want to be self-regulated, confident, just man. I just want to self-regulate my emotions, be aware of them. I don't need anybody to take care of me. I just want to realize what I'm feeling, be able to shift my mood with my intention, with my thinking, with my action, and give my action a purpose so I can get to the future. So that's my definition. So emotional awareness, feelings exercise, name, validate, feel, those two hand in hand, like give you a ton of awareness, and I must admit, not only intellectual about what you feel and how you feel and why, but also giving that feeling to your body, like attaching it to your, I don't know, sensation in the stomach, into your shoulders whenever you're tense from the stress. Like you can start getting awareness of, because of your body sensation, what you're feeling if you really analyze it. So and then you can act accordingly with your coping strategy that you have for that kind of situation. So that's been a really great gift. I also must say rational, irrational exercise. The comparison between what you are paying or consuming pornography, like you know how you've been feeling when you consumed a lot in the past, and mirroring that with the gain of your wins, your wins you're counting, like with the small positive changes you are building every day. Like with this comparison and just giving yourself space to talk about it with your addict subpersonality, and just convincing yourself like, hey man, like I'm gonna feel worse if I do this, and I'm having so great momentum. I really want to keep going. I have a purpose, I have a mission, I have stuff to do, and I want to focus on that.
Yeah.
That helped me a lot.
I love that.
So the last one too that I'll just mention was the wins and tracking your progress. I think that's the most one of the most important, because it keeps you going. Like it
Yeah.
keeps you reminding that you're doing good, that you're making progress, and sharing those wins with your AP partner, accountability, such an important stuff.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I know when I first started, the concept of counting wins and not counting days, that was a, I won't say weird, but certainly a different approach to what I've been used to. You know what I have? I have old notebooks that I used to save, and I would like try to like do the whole no fap thing and try to just like use sheer willpower to like, stop acting out. And I literally would be like, whatever, day 23, whatever. And if I had a slip, I would just beat myself up, man. It's like sometimes I'll take that notebook out and just be like, wow, and I would place all of my eggs in that basket and just really, really come down on myself if I wasn't perfect, and I would like focus so much on like where I'm not doing well and just forget or not pay attention to all of the wins along the way, like all the things in my life that are going well. And that was a huge shift for me, So let me hear from you. I mean, like, why is it so important to count your wins? Like we touched upon it a little bit, but I'd love to hear, some more detail if you're cool with that. Like, why is it so important to count your wins?
Yeah, yeah, I'll gladly share that. And actually, I have my own notebook from 2015, and I do journaling. I do a lot of journaling, and down on the bottom, I count my wins, and I count them daily, like 4 to 5 wins daily. I try to figure them out, even if they're small. When I was depressed, it was like I made a breakfast, I made laundry. Like it still was a win because it propelled me forward, and at that state when I was really low, so counting your wins is so important, because not only it reminds you of you going and you doing stuff. Like I'm a big believer in Kaizen philosophy, like where you're making small changes every day, small steps towards something. it would have been like every time you get to a house, like you put a little pebble in a jar, and it seems empty at the beginning, but if you keep doing that every single day, like that jug's gonna get full, and suddenly like you have this construct of something that you made with
Yep.
every single decision. So I learned that through Atomic Habits and applied that in my reboot program, and it's been wondrous. And what really helped me out to keep on going was also scaling the habits. I am still a believer it's better to do even a 1 minute workout than do nothing at all, because it helps you keep like getting into habit, and the getting into habit like keeps you going again and again. Like, of course, you want to make a real lasting change with your physique, like you gotta have a decent workout, of course, but at the beginning, to get into effort is much more important than making the effort on its own. Like just popping that every single day, even for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, for 10, but just do it.
I love that. And it really kind of takes the pressure off of you to be perfect. It's like we can put so much effort trying to be perfect, but putting in effort, that's perfect. It's like the fact that you're showing up says so much about you already. I tell guys all the time, when it comes to, you know, certain types of compulsive behavior, like we know how common of an issue this is all around the world, but the fact that anybody who's listening to this or watching to this, clearly, there's an interest within you, and there's something like, hey man, like we can be better than the way things are right now. You're doing more than most by being here. And the fact that you, Filip, like actually joined a program to give you like the structure and tools and accountability to do just that. You're in what I like to call the major minority that are actually doing something about it. You're actually putting your foot down and saying, enough is enough. I put my hand down, but this is my foot. You know what I'm saying? But like you're doing more than the majority of people will do. So I want to just name that. And yeah, I mean, again, that's why we
Thank you.
count our wins. So we know we keep our eyes set on where we're trying to go, not where we're going wrong. If anything, we're not trying to like run away from the dark. We're trying to like embrace the light, if anything. So I love that you touched upon that. Thank you for that. There's a question that I like to ask on conversations like this, and I'm curious to get your insight. With all that you've experienced and everything that you've learned so far, let's imagine for a moment that you know somebody or you meet somebody who is going through a struggle, who has their own battle with a certain compulsive behavior, right? That's proven to be unhealthy for them. They're just struggling in silence, don't really know what to do, don't really know who to turn to. And again, having learned what you've learned so far and having experienced what you have to this point, is there anything, knowing what you know now, that you would want to share with that particular person?
Yes, I do, and I think there are like three steps important for this kind of person who's really lost and feel like isolated and his own problem that he cannot get out on his own. Like, first of all is acceptance. Like, you need to accept the fact that you're there, that you're at this point, because it helps you to realize, okay, I'm having this kind of struggle, and now I can do something about it. But without acceptance, like you denying the problem, you pushing away from yourself, would only get you away from the solution. So, and it helped me to get out of my depression. Like, if I weren't like saying to myself, okay, I'm depressed, I'm allowed to feel this way. It's normal to people who are depressed to feel this way. So if I'm addicted to pornography, of course I'm going to have urges. Of course I'm going to have relapses. So allowing yourself to make those mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, to gain data is crucial. Like, you need to allow yourself to make mistakes and allow yourself to accept where you're at. But second of all, you need to share that with somebody. You need to ask for help. This is you cannot do it on your own, and I know many guys have a problem with this, and I had it too. with your ego, with your ego, like better than that. Like I'm in the hole, but I'm better than anybody. Like I had this attitude for a while. Like I can do this on my own. I can do this. Like no, you can't. If you really want to do it, like why struggle on your own when there's a like proven way of doing it? When there's so many people who use that path, who went there and use those tools, this kind of way of getting out of it. That's
Absolutely.
similar with the medicine. Like if people are having flu, they're not just like doing jumping jacks. They are going to a doctor and getting the same medicine. So it's similar. Like just get support, get help. If you cannot afford program, use the free resources. Then you can start making income to get there, or even ask for a help from your close ones. Talk with your friends. Like not being alone is so important to open up about the problem, because with opening up you're losing the shame. This is my experience. Like I started losing shame about it, and when I started sharing it, it made so much easier to start moving forward. So this would be my recommendation. Like accept the situation, give yourself permission to fail, and ask for help.
I love that. And you kind of beat me to it as far as with all that said, would you then recommend this program?
With 100%. Like I know that if somebody will apply the knowledge, the sessions, it's guaranteed if you apply yourself that you're gonna get out of this. But you need to apply yourself. Like it's not going to work if you don't do the work.
Mm,
But it's like after the 3 months of an implementation program and my trial run free group, like I'm 100% sure that I'm out of this behavior in some time. Like I know it for a fact and I believe it deeply. So yeah, man, like I recommend it to anybody who's having a struggle with this out of control behavior. Yeah, 100% recommend it. I thank you so much for this opportunity, to you, to JK, to every single coach of the program, because I gained so much value. I'm really grateful for it, because it really changed my life.
that's amazing, man. I really don't know what else to say other than that. Thank you so much. And it's sincerely just for the value that you've added, just from your own heart and your own willingness to share and go there and try things. And it says again, I said it before and I'll say it again. It says a lot about you, and I think that you're continuing to do that as far as giving value goes. And all the best to you, man. And you know that we're in your corner. I'm only a message away. You know that. But dude, thank you so much. This was awesome. Before we say goodbye, any final words to somebody that might be listening or watching this that might kind of be on the fence as far as what to do next, or not really sure what to do, where to go, and might still be in that struggle we described? Any final words before we say goodbye?
Go to a free group, start there, free group of Porn Reboot, start there, get into conversation with a Reboot strategist about what he can do to help you to gain free resources, get an AP. If you can afford, just go straight to the program, because it will save you time. If you can just go and start your journey with Reboot, like the sooner you do it, the more free you're going to be earlier in your life and to make lasting changes, you know. And shout out to my APs, because without you guys, like I wouldn't be here. Like
Woo!
tons of love to my all APs I had during this journey.
Absolutely, man. Well, all the best to you, Philip. Thank you so much for sharing it. All the best.
Yeah, thank you again, Chris, for all the good work, and love you guys.